I'm shooting this with a GoPro Hero 5 at 2.7K, 60 frames per second, wide lens, stabilization on, and BJT, he recommended doing intervals today, but it's really just getting the miles in for me today. No intervals. So we're gonna go easy. I'm riding Sans orthotics because I think the orthotics actually give me some hip issues, so trying that out. Also, I'm going to be experimenting on Amazon. I got some Alps Ocean 152 cranks. Experimenting with those. They're coming today, I think. I'll put those on. And yeah, let's ride. The idea behind what might be beneficial for the shorter cranks is that they are supposed to, when you have hip issues, which I kind of do, it's supposed to be a little bit better. The other thing is I can open up the hip angle at the top, but also decrease how straight my leg is at the bottom, so I can have it a bit more bent. On the longer cranks, I tend to ride from full extension, measured statically, in the 25 to 30 degree range, which kind of helps for knee stuff and all that, but I don't think it's optimal. I think I'm better, based on my national medals in the past, I'm better with a lower extension. I think I was 32, 33 when I rode nationals, but I was kind of like managing all these problems, and I was only 24 the last time I medaled in the nationals. Now I'm going to turn 50 in the fall. So, I think being able to put myself in the maybe even near 35, and this is static, so dynamic measurements would be a bit different. You're going to add some degrees to that because there is some natural hip rock when you pedal. So I think being able to have that a little bit lower is going to help with efficiency and being, just feeling more comfortable on the bike. It's going to spike my cortisol less, which is important. So, and also, make it more comfortable to ride a little bit longer, which, I need to do to drop the weight. So I'm going to cut my lap here a little short. That wasn't that way this morning, but power did drop at one point this morning, so I wonder if a branch fell on something or something along that line with the power lines, which is why they're closing the road right now. Anyways, all right, here's our turnaround point. Generators are going, so the power's definitely out. So hopefully they'll get that fixed quick enough. This person's going to have to turn around. So as I'm out riding this morning, I'm getting some biofeedback from myself that the saddle height is too high. Now with the orthotics, but those are giving me some hip issues. You can get away with a higher saddle, I think, but I compensate to lower it, based off of the amount it takes up in the shoe, but it still feels like too high where I'm riding right now. And biofeedback that lets me know that is I'm getting a little impingement on my sciatica nerve. I can feel it just a little bit. And the bottom of my feet, I notice without the orthotics I can pull better through the entire stroke. Like I feel more connected with the pedals without them. But when I'm a little high, I get more so hot feet because I'm doing less of that. I'm less focused on an efficient stroke, more of a stomping down kind of motion. So that's telling me, yeah, I'm riding a little too high right now. So I'm going to be in the 152s this evening, so I may just keep the saddle height the same, put those on and drop it full half inch. See if I can get some better sensations with my pedal stroke. A lot of people don't work on their pedal stroke, but when I was riding my best, before I got orthotics, I had a really efficient pedal stroke where I kind of pull through, heel through the bottom of the stroke and pull up. And I felt I was really efficient. You could churn out miles of big gear doing that. Also feel like I'm canted down toward the bars a little bit, which, yeah, I'm riding 165s versus standard cranks, so that could be a little bit of it. But when you tend to go a little high, you tend to get kind of rotated forward, and it puts more pressure on your hands. Now, in terms of your old school methods, the classic one is, heel on the pedal. Let me say that again. I don't know if you heard that because the classic one is the heel on the pedal. I'm a bit above that right now. I think I'll get closer to that, putting shorter cranks on and then just not raising the seat. It'll be around there, and that might be a good reset since I'm starting to ride again. That's a classic way of setting your saddle. It might not be exactly optimal, but it usually does a pretty good job for most people. I do have longer femurs, which could, well, it's interesting because I was doing some AI stuff, and they're actually saying that longer femurs used to be the philosophy, use longer cranks, but they're actually, the longer femurs, it might be beneficial to use shorter cranks than everyone else. Because I have a very weird structure. My legs are short, I have a long torso, and I have long femurs. So my femur to tibia ratio is somewhere between 1.8 to 1.2, and I think the average is 1.1 to 1.11. So it's a significant difference. It's that's probably, you can think, longer torso, more room for lungs and that kind of thing. And then the longer femurs possibly give me some leverage advantages. So, yeah, I was kind of built for this sport in certain ways, but other ways it's hard to fit the bike. Training for the day, I'm probably going to aim for, maybe I'm at 32 minutes, 33 minutes, aim for about 45 minutes this morning. Maybe same thing, 30 minutes to 45 in the afternoon. So I get about an hour and a half, maybe hour 15, hour and a half. And it's just really riding easy, but also keeping the metabolism going. And then tomorrow I'm back in the gym for some upper body stuff. The other thing too is pool's opening up, so I may grill max with some pool beverage maxing just to keep cool, which kind of looking forward to now I'm talking about it. That'll be fun. So just getting the miles back in is the way to go, I think. Even on a recovery day, which is today, I'm putting in, an hour 15 to hour and a half full ride time split, but that'll be good. For the afternoon spin, I actually am headed out just on still 165s. Might keep these on for a bit if I can get the lower saddle effective on them. So I moved it down. So the static measurement for my leg is about 31 degrees. So, which would be 37 to 39 measured dynamically, I'm guessing. Alright, so one thing I am noticing with the lower saddle height is I'm kind of rotating less forward. So I might actually go down and reach a little bit. I have a bunch of stems around. When I used to ride, my 2 national medals, I was more compact before I got set up through orthotics, straighter back and all that. I honestly feel a little bit better, more compact. So probably we're trending that way. And just for training and stuff and getting back into it, I don't need to be way bent over in the racy style. Or even for racing, honestly, because obviously at nationals, I got 3rd, and I was more, I didn't have as long of a stem back then. And my handlebar, saddle to handlebar drop was only like 5.5 centimeters, so just over 2 inches. So not really that aggressive with a, what people would consider a lower saddle. It's just what works best for me. So other thing I'm noticing is I'm actually using my quads and spinning better. It's a better circle that I'm making, like more complete. There's no there are less dead spots in the stroke, I think, riding right now. And actually I'm in the small ring spinning, going pretty good here. So yeah, I noticed that. Okay, I just saw the Amazon guy pull into my driveway. I'm doing a 2-mile loop up and down, back and forth. He's dropping off, I think, my 152s. So one thing I have noticed, maybe what I do is I try the 152s with the same stem and see if I get a little bit better rotation at a lower saddle height, bottom leg extension, but shorter crank. So it opens up my hip angle a little bit, especially when you're carrying a little extra weight. And yeah, definitely want to try that out. Today is, or didn't do, is I had lunch around maybe 12:45 or so. I haven't eaten since. It's now 5:30 at the start of this ride. I had a black coffee before I went, but that was it. I can feel myself. Okay, now I'm going into fat burning mode. So I was going to do about 30 minutes, but maybe I push it to 45 and just kind of get in that mode, and then I'll break it with a Coke, and then a few other drinks that are refreshing in nature. Let's just leave it at that, and grill some dinner. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I think the key is the more times I can push myself into that fat burning zone without going so hard, because I'm riding easy and just spinning, focusing on the pedal stroke. If I can move myself into that fat burning mode without spiking the cortisol, that will lower my body fat percentage, which will be better for look maxing. Of course, it's important according to Gen Z. I'm Gen X, but got to do that because I got to ascend so I can get myself a top tier Stacy, or at least mid tier Stacy. I'm older, so I'm gonna be running some Unk style, but it's about being Sigma, just going your own way, figuring it out. It feels like right now I'm about to bonk, but I think that's good. It means I'm low on glycogen in my muscle cells. I'm gonna have to force my body to switch. So I do like a little, a diet bonk in the evening, and then as soon as I get back, get the glycogen back in with a can of Coke. But it also trains my body, trains my legs to ascend to a fat burning state. So I want to be fat maxing, not carb maxing while I'm not riding, so I can help to start to deplete my body weight and so on, be better for my health and all that kind of stuff. As I've gained weight, I'm on blood pressure medication, got some other little issues. Better than a lot, but still, the cycling, I think, is the key to staying healthy for a long time. Saw something about a GCN rider. He used to be pro, but he's riding at 78, still freaking hard, looks in great shape. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably a good thing. the bike riding. It's a good lifelong sport. And I kind of lost my way a little bit. But let's get back into it. Okay, a little less than one lap to go. My legs have gone to plaid. And still spinning smoothly, but they definitely feel that gelatin. So as soon as I get back, it's gonna be off the bike, get that can of Coke in me. Definitely having the bonk. Despite the bonk starting to hit, one thing I am noticing is without the orthotics, I feel like I'm much better connected with the pedal. My pedal stroke is just better, and I'm not fighting the machine, which is a good thing. So all in all, positive for today, leaving off the orthotics. I do want to pick up, besides the Cokes for recovery, is chocolate milk, because I just drank a glass of milk last night. Like, this is glorious. But yeah, chocolate milk was always a good staple back in the day for recovery. So I'm going to start doing the chocolate milks again at the end of the rides. So